Hello, I hope you're doing well today. We are back here for another review. We're going to be taking a look at the brand new Jada Toys Ultra Street Fighter 2, the Final Challengers T-Hawk figure. So this is the second to last figure in the Jada line. One more, we have Zangief, and then the roster will be complete. And it seems like Jada has improved with every single release, so we're going to see if T-Hawk here keeps up with that pattern. Before we look at what's inside the box, we're going to take a look at the outside. It's the same aesthetic that's been across the entire Jada Street Fighter 2 line. It's got the arcade cabinet with the buttons and the logo. Then we've got a portrait of the character down in the bottom corner, health bars. Same art on the box that's been there since the beginning. We have a little bit of information about the character. We have the back, just one pose. Then we have all of the roster down here at the bottom. Some more art, and the box is extra large. This is a deluxe figure, $34.99 at GameStop. Is where I picked this guy up. He's still up for, I think, on stores like BBTS, he's pre-order. But I found this guy at GameStop, and they had more than one at the one I went to. So this guy's out there if you want to go hunt for him, or you can wait to get him online. So we're going to go ahead and open this guy up and take a look at what he comes with. Alrighty, here we have T-Hawk out of the package with his accessories. The first accessory we're going to take a look at is this alternate head, which is just a grimacing face that I think came out pretty nicely. We can look up close and we can see we got some painted detail, some face paint that came out nice and clean. Just everything. It looks very nice. He's got a very exaggerated grimacing mouth there to kind of fit the cartoony aesthetic, but I think it looks pretty nice. We've got some brown hair here, and there looks like there's a hint of shading in it. And then we've got his feather that is nicely done there. So that all looks pretty good. We've got a pair of these flat hands for his fighting stance. And we can see the fingernails sculpted in there. And then there's not really any wrinkles or anything on the outside of the fingers, but we've got some on the inside of the hands there. Next up, we have his hawk. I would assume it's a hawk. And I don't know if it has a name in the game, but here we can see that. And it's pretty cartoony looking. It's got two tones. It's kind of got a lighter belly, some shading in the feathers, just white eyes. It's got some articulated legs here that work nicely, and it's got some articulated wings, so it can come up, come back, whatever you want to do with that. And also he comes with an interchangeable cuff piece with two peg holes in it, and there are two pegs in the bottom of the hawk's foot, and you just can do that right there and hold him on his arm. So that's pretty awesome. So I'd say it's a fair arrangement of accessories for a bigger figure. We also have the backdrop in the package, which is like his stage from Street Fighter 2, and so we just have some folks from, I'm guessing, the Thunderfoot tribe, T-Hawk's tribe there, and building in the back. So that is all that he comes with. Now we can go ahead and bring the figure front and center. All right, here's T-Hawk, free of all of his stuff here. I've got the tape measure out, so we're going to go ahead and get a height measurement on this guy. And to the top of his head, he stands right at about 8 inches. So he's a tall boy. For some Jada Toys comparisons, the first one I wanted to look at was Sagat. And you can see here that T-Hawk is a fair bit taller than Sagat. Sagat's head probably reaches about Mr. T-Hawk's headband. So it's a little bit taller there. For a more average sized Jada figure, here we have Fei Long. So you can see that right there. Next up, we've got T-Hawk's nemesis, if you want to call him that. We have M. Bison. This M. Bison is, I've expressed, a fair bit short, but there you can see that. I also wanted to bring in a bigger M. Bison in. So here we have the Soda Toys M. Bison. He reaches about the top of the shoulder if you're looking at his hat. So there's that. Since we're crossing between the lines here, we'll go ahead and get the Storm Arena Ryu out. Nice. For a Marvel Legends comparison, here we've got the Game Reverse Captain America. And lastly, we've got the DC Universe Classics, the Question figure. So, we've got all that out of the way. We can finally bring the figure up front and take a look at his details. Alrighty, here we have the figure ready to be examined up close, and I brought a special guest in for this video. I thought it would be fun to break out the Soda Toys T-Hawk here and just kind of look at how this new T-Hawk figure might be an improvement over the old one, because the old one is pretty impressive, especially for back then, and I think he holds up pretty well today. So there are a few things on the old one I want to look at in particular. I'm not going to just hold them up next to each other the whole time, but let's go ahead and take a look at this head sculpt here on the new T-Hawk figure. So as we can see, I think it looks very nice. I think it matches the box art fairly well. Maybe a little less realistic than the box art, but it's got all of the same paint details on the face and on the headband that the other head sculpt had. And things like the hair, yeah, I think there is a tad bit of shading. I could be wrong though. One thing I've noticed some differences with the Soda is the color of the headband is different and the face paint, and there's less face paint, but also his feather is connected by a little black piece there. Here we can see the feather here on the old one is kind of more faded in versus this red tipped one. So some differences there. I guess we'll move down to his denim vest, and this is one of the things that I think the Soda figure did better. It's one of the things that aged the best about him. So this older figure, or this newer figure, I should say, does have a lot of that nice new texturing to give it a realistic feel. Something that the old figure had, though, was this beautiful paint wash throughout that it didn't have any texturing, but it looks real. It really does. And then it also has these individual little tassels or fringe or whatever you want to call it on there that just really bring it to life. I think it looks very nice. The sculpting, it's got some more harder seams throughout on the collar and on the shoulders that's not really present on this newer figure. So that's definitely something to be mindful of. Not really, unless you're trying to choose between which one to buy, but there's a whole nother conversation to have about that. I'm really kind of just comparing them for fun. But looking down at the torso beneath, I mean, I think he's got all the appropriate muscle groups. Some more definition maybe would be nice, but you can see some shading in the grooves of the muscles. We got veins. We've got the little gold pieces around his biceps that look nice enough. The arms have got the regular Jada type deal where they taper off and allow for more range. Something that I'm noticing on this guy, though, he's got like a huge gap, like a considerably more noticeable gap between his bicep and his forearm joint. That's just being nitpicky. Let's see if another figure has that. Like Sagat here, it's there, but it's less substantial. You can kind of just see that gap between the bicep and the forearm. But I mean, that's not a big deal. I'm just pointing out the little things. It's probably just more noticeable in this guy because he's a lot larger of a figure. Looking down at the belt buckle, we can see it's nicely, cleanly painted. Some little silver detailing. It says Hawk there at the bottom. Bringing the Soda figure back out, you can look at all of that detail. It's got some little extra black in there and some texture to the belt and some little seams and stuff. And of course that paint pattern was continued throughout the jeans. But this will do. It is just a lot more of a simplistic look, which is what they're going for. Going down to the legs, we can see he's got his I guess, chaps down here. All cleanly painted. It looks like there is some wash over this piece here, over his chaps, and looking down at the boots, his T boots. He's got some extra little details sculpted in there. No treads or anything on the bottom of that. And I'll just go ahead and break this guy back out. Yeah, we can see the individual little fringes there. And then his feet I've got a beautiful wash on the boots. Some harder sculpted detail in there. So this isn't supposed to be a full-blown comparison, but, you know, I don't know if anybody else is really breaking out the old Soda figures to see how this guy might stack up. I would honestly say the Soda figure holds up very well. I think I'm not, again, this is not a comparison, like, who did it better, but I mean, I think I do prefer the aesthetic of the old one versus the new one. He's just got a lot more going on, if you ask me. But the new one still looks pretty nice to stand up with your other Jada figures. So now that we've taken a look at the aesthetic, we can take a look at how he poses, because I know this guy will definitely pose better than that Soda figure. We're not going to look at how he poses, really. So the head is on a double ball peg and a neck, so he can get a good bit of tilt. He can look up nicely there, and more importantly, he can look down as well, so that works well. Next, we've got the new-ish sort of shoulder caps that allow for that extra range there. So you can raise the arm up about that much more, down. See how much crossover we can get there. About right there. So that works, and it'll go back. Looking at the bicep swivel, it's well hidden by the little gold ring, so that's nice to have. I would like to see the physics of how this might be attached to one's bicep like that. Moving down to the double jointed elbows there, we'll go ahead and see. That's how much bend we get, which is pretty good, I would say. I'm honestly, with the amount that they cut off of the bicep, I'm surprised it's not a bit more. It might be the mass of the forearms, because his forearms are almost bulkier than his biceps. But it'll do. I don't think people are going to be looking for much more range than that. On his wrists, we've just got a hinge that works well enough. Does he have his little Jada drop-down wrist? Kinda. I don't know if there's much intentionality behind it, as it seems with the other figures, but it's kind of there. Moving down to the diaphragm joint, ball pegs. Looking at just the top joint, it looks like, goodness, he can get a good bit of range just on that top joint there. Sculpt and everything is continued well enough. Moving back on just the top joint, there we've got that. Side to side on the top joint is existent. Moving down on just the bottom joint, pretty good. And then bringing that top joint in, yeah, I mean, this guy can bend pretty well. And then going back, so he can fly. And then side to side a lot. So yeah, I'm impressed with the diaphragm joint, or just the torso articulation as a whole. I think it works pretty well. And here we can see under the vest, if you wanted to get a look at how much the articulation cuts up, I'd say he still has got a lot of broadness to his chest. So I think that looks pretty nice. Moving down to the hips, no drop downs or anything. We have got our full splits. So there we go. Greatly appreciated. Thank you, Jada. I can see some shading in his jeans towards, and some of the, I guess, creases and wrinkles there. And then raising the leg up, he can get past 90. That's very nice. Very nice. He's got a softer diaper piece. And then he can kick the leg back a little bit. He's got his butt to kind of block the way. No pockets on the back of his pants. Blue jeans usually come with that. But anyway, thigh swivel is a thigh swivel. And we've got our double jointed knees that get virtually all the range that we could ask for. The joints look okay enough. They didn't continue the texture in the joints or anything, and they have these hard lines that make it a bit more obvious. No boot cut or anything anywhere in there, but he does have a swivel at his foot, and his foot can come pointed that far up, that far down, and we've got our interesting. Okay, we've got our pivot there. His boot kind of gets in the way of preventing that, but it's there, and his toe joint is nicely enough done. There we go, all the way up. Gets a little bit down as well, and it's nice and flush everywhere, and I think well enough placed. So this guy is gonna pose very nicely, more nicely than the Soda, obviously. Again, it's not a competition, but yeah, I think this guy, he is a winner, that's for sure. He comes at a fairly good price for a bigger figure of this high quality. He is, I would say, a standout piece among the Jada figures. They all kind of stand out in their own unique ways, and he poses well, and he's got some good accessories. So, if you were looking to complete your Jada roster, and for some reason you were thinking you wouldn't get T-Hawk or something, I don't know, you might want to consider getting T-Hawk. Would I say that he is, as I would have, as I mentioned that the figures get better with each release, would I say that he is the best one so far? Arguments can be made. Arguments can be made. I think Balrog is still my personal favorite. I think he might be the best in my own opinion. But you can definitely see the evolution of what all Jada has learned along the way to get to this point. So I do appreciate the quality that they have brought to the 1/12 scale as for the price as well. They've definitely changed the game. We are getting better action figures now than we were before they were making action figures. So I am just kind of yapping. If you haven't, be sure to go ahead and check out my series that I do every single day of YouTube Shorts, where I take a look at one figure from my collection every single day. We've got a few more weeks of that. After this week, some of the lines of figures that I'm looking at are going to be over, and I'm going to have to figure out what to replace them with. Like, my last Indiana Jones figure will be this week, and my last Dragon Ball figure will be this week, and then I'll have to figure out what to do in their stead. So go ahead and check out that series if you haven't already. Also, the channel has hit 50 subscribers as of this past Friday, I believe. So I do want to say thank you to all of you who have been sticking with the channel the past couple months for all of the support. Absolutely appreciate it. And also thank all of you newcomers who are coming along and checking my videos out and subscribing. And you all have been very kind in the comments. And I enjoy getting to talk to some of you in the comment section. So I appreciate all of you. Of course, I would like to give all of the glory and any success, if you, as you may call it, over these past couple months to my personal Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, who has blessed me and given me this opportunity and this platform to speak to you all about this thing that we all have in common, that we all enjoy, and that's action figures. So thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.